For many years now, we've recognised that people learn best on the job. However, a lot of learning in organisations doesn't support this. And we actually remove people from the workplace to attend a face-to-face program in order to learn. Now, with the impact of digitalisation, are we getting closer to achieving learning in the flow of work? Welcome to Talking HR Trends with Natal and Tom, where we explore the latest hot topics and business challenges impacting the people side of organisations. Stick around to the end for our top tip, and please like and subscribe to be notified of the next video in this series. Hi Tom, the ice is melting in Scotland. How is it in the Netherlands?
We have never had ice here this winter so far, so
no ice.
disappointing.
Oh, okay. Okay, so despite the model that we know well, which is the 70-20-10, which says that 70% of learning is through experience on the job, 20% through relationships, and 10% formal classroom learning, despite this gaining a lot of traction in the workplace, there still seems a lot of time and money spent on formal learning, particularly in L&D strategies. What's your thoughts on this? Is this a fair assessment of the situation that we have in learning?
I think so. I think probably learning and development is one of the least developed areas in HR. So there's a lot of room for improvement. And there's a couple of reasons. One, it's not so easy to do it well, I think. So it's easy to organize a training. We all know that. And that's why it's always one of the favorite solutions of HR people. People look at, okay, is it nice? Is the teacher nice? And is the location nice? And we are away from work. So often the evaluations are not so bad. So it kind of, the system keeps going because, almost everybody is happy. So that's one. It's not so easy. But as you say, it becomes easier today, but it requires a lot of effort. But I have a lot of things to say about it because it also, for some professions, it's not so easy to know what does good look like. So if you don't know what good looks like, well, it becomes less easier to organize and to give people good feedback and to give them guidance on what they should change. And the higher you come in the organization, the more difficult it becomes. And we all know the discussions about leadership. Well, hardly anybody knows what good leadership looks like. But still, we spent a lot of money on leadership development. Surprise.
And how do we get to learning to the point of that person leading in the moment? That's quite a different type of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So what's interesting at the moment, and you sort of touched on this, is that with digitalization coming into the workplace, more data to work with, and basically more methods to start experimenting with, there is more opportunities, it seems, to essentially target learning more to the point of work or to the point of need. What's some of the examples and trends that you're seeing in this space?
So what you need first, as I said, you need to know, in a sense, what good looks like, because otherwise you have nothing to compare it with. Then you need to be able to observe people in action. Then you need to be able to measure, to give guidance on where the gaps are. And that's offering people micro-learning solutions, small solutions they can use immediately. I will give an example. If this was an interview or a sales conversation, today there is excellent software that monitors this conversation. So I'm selling you something, I have the software, our faces are analyzed, the content is analyzed, and after a while I get guidance in this conversation what I could do better. For example, Tom, look a little bit better in the camera, or Tom, you spoke 90% of the time. That's not a good balance. Or we have not heard you ask any question. Maybe ask a question. Or towards the end of the conversation, time to close. We haven't heard you ask, hey, do you want to buy it, Natal? So this is excellent. And then afterwards, you can analyze the whole conversation and say, Tom, we have analyzed this conversation against top salespeople performance. Here's some more guidance.
Yeah.
Well, this is in the flow of work. And so if you use your imagination, there are quite some professions where this is possible. Maybe not exactly in the flow of work, but close to it.
Definitely much more targeted. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And one of my other favorite examples is the hospital example, where nurses who go to assist in an operation, let's say 10 minutes prior to the scheduled operation, they on their iPhone or on their smartphone, and they get a little test with, let's say, 10 questions about the essentials of this operation. They answer the questions. If they pass, good luck, go ahead. There's no gap. But if they maybe have a couple of mistakes, they get a little video with the essentials of the operation. This is not completely in the flow of work, but they are vulnerable. They know, okay, I'm going to use it now. So, and then we know that people learn most when they are going to need it.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, no, it reminds me of a great case study I know where they started to realize that managers often talk about having no time to learn because when they have to remove themselves from the workplace, they don't think they have the time for it. However, really want to learn when they've got a problem. So, I've got to give someone feedback tomorrow. I've got to do an interview and I'm not sure how to do it. And so they started to make learning available when the manager wanted it and actually even lined it up with the HRIS system. So perhaps there's a notification, you need to give someone feedback tomorrow. Do you need to learn? And the manager says, yes. And exactly that, clicks on the video, reads the article, has a talk with the coach. So again, not exactly in the flow, but pretty close. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, it's really, really exciting. And I think this is the future, isn't it? This combination of digitalization and personalization, which allows you to also start targeting moments that matter or problems that we know we need to solve. So someone going into a new job, a new manager, the onboarding experience, these type of moments.
The next step is kind of really in the workflow. Doctors are helped with augmented reality. So if they are operating, there's augmented reality so that they kind of can can see what's in the body, although they are not in the body, and maybe with the camera. And then the software gives them signals if they do something wrong. They say, well, why are you cutting there? So is that learning or is that workflow management? But that's very interesting if you can do that.
Yeah, definitely. And it's integrating both, isn't it? Yeah. And this is the thing. It's why should learning be kind of a separate activity? It actually needs to be part of work. I've even been trying something similar with HR teams that I work with. So they're running a project and we're using a Scrum board, a digital Scrum board, and with different activities that they need to do for the project, I'm connecting learning with it. So videos to watch or go onto the LMS that we're using and go and learn more of how to do this step. And they're loving it because it links into doing the work that they need to get done day to day. So there's definitely something in this. So what's your top tips, Tom, on for HR teams and L&D teams that are looking at their strategy and they're wanting to build learning that's more in the flow of work? What are your tips in this area?
I think start with the professions or the jobs that are relatively easy, where you know that you can observe people and that you know what goods look like and that can help people. So probably don't start with leadership and those type of jobs, but start with more jobs that are relatively easier to support and help people.
Yeah. Where the problems are known. I actually think that the manager level is quite a good one. It's, you can actually tackle it. There's problems known and people really want to be helped in those roles. So actually it's a great place to start. Excellent. Thank you so much for your time today, Tom. And it's always great to speak with you. The practical top tip that we'd like to leave you with is start thinking more about impact and less about activity when it comes to tracking your learning. So traditionally, we have looked at how many people do a training program, how many people enjoyed it. Instead, let's start looking at the problem we're trying to solve with the learning. Indeed, why we're doing the learning in the first place. And if we start tracking that data, you're really going to start showing an impact on the organization. If you liked what we explored today, please like and subscribe to be notified of the next in the series. Thanks for your time.